working with the team here. The people are amazing. Everyone is incredibly kind and so dedicated. So I would say my favorite part is the team and the culture here at IdeaStream. My name is Mary Deffer. My title is Development Support Coordinator, and I've been at IdeaStream, it'll be 2 years in July of this year. So I work very closely with Yvette Cook-Darby. She is the Chief Development and Marketing Officer at IdeaStream. I help her maintain her calendar. We go over a lot of schedule things. I also support her in preparing for meetings. I work very closely as well with the major giving team. It involves a lot of working here and working there, wearing a lot of different hats, which I really love. So when I was younger, I think I had an idea perhaps that IdeaStream would be a very interesting place to work. When I was a student, I grew up in Portage County, and there was a countywide initiative that helped students who were interested in arts and culture be exposed to more museums and cultural things. So they would take a busload of us, and we would be able to visit museums and go to plays. And on one of the trips, a stop was to the Idea Center. So just having that view in really made an impression on me at that time. And then when I moved back to Cleveland, I just had this kind of kernel of a thought that maybe one day it could be it's kind of like a dream that maybe I'll work there one day. And so when I got the job here, I was really excited. And I think that kernel of my younger self being so impressed and just kind of surfaces in that way. So I'm a practicing artist outside of work. Most of my art is photography based. I work a lot with analog photography and different alternative processes. I like to work with film and do different things like cyanotypes and lumens, photography-based cameraless processes. So that takes up a lot of my time, experimenting and tinkering with those techniques. I also really love to read. At one point, I was in 3 book clubs. I've tapered it down to 2 at this point. Love spending time in nature as well. That really feeds my soul, I think. So my first memory of public media, I was really trying to tap into the first one, because I knew growing up watching PBS, my family didn't have cable, so in general, that was a big part of my life. I remember we had our television in the basement of the house that I grew up in, and I'm watching this episode of Wishbone, and it's the Phantom of the Opera, which is kind of an intense storyline. And just remember the catacombs and the fog, and feeling so intrigued, and also a little spooked, and just lots of emotions while watching it. And thinking about Wishbone more broadly too, at the end of each episode, they would have little very small snippet peeks into the process of the making of the episode. So the production team would share a little bit, or the art team, or the makeup artists. And in thinking about that as a kid, my work as an artist is so process-based, and I often wonder how that impacted me. Did that make me more intrigued in learning stories about processes and how people make things? So yeah.